Jim. He's dead, Jim. He's dead, Jim. Up your shot.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek rewatch and recap podcast, where every week myself, Adam Ordall-Quinnell, and my co-host with the mo-host.
Hey everyone, it's Al Hirt here. What's up?
Mr. Al Hirt. That's a great question, Al, and I'm going to tell you what's up. Every week we get together in an undisclosed location in the sunny San Fernando Valley that is currently on fire in several places, and we discuss some kind of episode of Star Trek something or other. We did the original series, and then we did the movies,
Yes.
talk about the animated series. I don't know that I have to cover this every episode because our listeners are repeat listeners.
Yeah.
But, and so now this is part 2, so this is episode 101. We're breaking off another hundo, as they say on Comedy Bang Bang, and I wanted to do something special for this, and I'm going to get to that in a second, because we got to talk a little bit about something that happened before we recorded.
Oh my God.
So my wife and I were on our way home from work, and we get a fucking alert on our phones that's like, hey, you're in an evacuation. So there's a lot of we live in California, there's a lot of crazy wildfires happening in LA County where we live right now. Thankfully the death count has been low, but it is fucking crazy out there, and we've been very nervous about it. My wife has been super worried about it, and we got a text. It was like, you're in a prep for evacuation area. And so we'd already prepped some stuff last night, but we were just kind of freaking out. So we get home, I text Al, who was doing the hero's work of like getting our edibles for the show tonight. And I was like, hey dude, we might have to reschedule because we have to evacuate. And he was like, yeah, I got that too. And then as we were freaking out and packing up, we get a thing that's like, oh, just kidding. We accidentally sent to all of LA County instead of just to somewhere far away.
It was crazy to see people like collectively freak out outside and then collectively like, oh, okay, we're fine.
Like you literally would, if you were outside, you would see somebody standing outside looking at their phone, like shrugging their shoulders and then being like,
Up your shot.
Just freaking out basically.
But yeah, so we're coming from a place of, my wife and I thought we were going to have to pack up like all 3 of our cats and like find somewhere to go because we have the stuff kind of packed and ready to go, but we hadn't gotten as far as like, have a place to go. So that would have been fun and challenging. But so that's how we're starting episode 101.
Yes, on fire.
Of Trek in the Valley, yeah. And Al, every week we start the episode with a little segment I like to call, What Does Al Remember? Al, what do you remember? What did we talk about last week?
It was the Futurama, like Star Trek, I guess, special. It was called, what is it? Where no fan has gone before.
Where no fan has gone before. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, really quick, I guess a rundown is that the what is the crew called? I guess what the
Planet Express ship.
Crew? Yeah,
they call them the Planet Express crew or the Planet Express ship.
They're caught with the crew of the crew of Star Trek or the Enterprise, and like basically they're on trial, and Zap Brannigan is like asking them what happened and how they got there. So it was kind of like what is that called when they have like a Cinderella story or like a whodunit or like...
It's a framing device where they like they're at the trial and they keep flashing back to the events that led up to the trial.
Exactly, yes. And then what happened was they were trying to find... Star Trek was a religion, right?
Yeah, Star Trek became a religion in the future and they had to ban it. They outlawed it.
That's right. And then there was only so many tapes left, and like there was they were going to ship them off into a random planet and just like blow it up, right?
Yeah, they just shot them out into space. They shot them to the Forbidden Planet.
Oh, that's right. And so then as soon as they get there, the Planet Express crew, they find all the Star Trek props on this planet, and then turns out there's like some Q-like being that is like kind of
He's an energy being.
Yeah,
he's like he's a glowing energy cloud, like we encounter so many times in Star Trek.
And I think what's just really good about the episode is that they just pull from all these references really quickly and like properly, so then it doesn't really like, I guess, overstay its welcome.
Yeah, man.
And it's just them running through the trials, but they also fight against each other, which is a reference to another episode of Good versus Evil. And
yeah.
they're just, we see all these hijinks of the Futurama crew messing with the Enterprise. And then I guess they escape from the energy being, and Zap Brannigan, I mean, they think they're going to get saved, but then he puts them on trial for
entering the Forbidden Zone.
Oh, that's right.
For going after the tapes.
And that's also, the whole restricted zone and neutral zone thing too.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. It's just like, what is it? Futurama's really like, rapid fire, like joke.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
There's so many great jokes. I like the joke where Fry says, 79 good episodes, about 30 good ones.
Yeah.
About 25 good ones. Yeah, there's a lot of banging jokes. And then at the end, they prove to Melvar that really it's just a love of Star Trek that brings them together, and he lets them go. And then they don't bring the Star Trek tapes back because everybody still wants to forget that. But yeah, so that was Where No Fan Has Gone Before. Now, that was a good segment, Al. You did a good job.
I thought they saved the tapes, but then they had too much weight, so they cut everybody's body.
No. Yeah, and Fry says, you're right. Fry says, we were able to save the tapes. And Spock is like, oh, goody.
No, my head is in a filter jar.
Oh, yeah, he says, Fry goes, oh, because we got rid of the bodies. God, you just remembered a great joke.
Yeah,
I'm such a fucking idiot.
Good.
He goes, now that we got rid of your bodies, we have room for the tapes. And he goes, Spock says, my head is in a gefilte fish jar. Like, I don't give a shit about your fucking tapes, bro. I had a young lithe body there for a minute.
They all jump out of the portal too. The Enterprise crew. They take Spock there. That's right.
Yeah, they take Spock's head to where he thinks the crew may have, where the tapes were, and then he finds them because they went to go live with motherfucking Chekhov's cousin in his garage. We went to go stay in Chekhov's cousin's garage. All right, so that was Where No Fan Has Gone Before. Good job. Great job, Matt Groening and David X. Cohen and everybody who made that.
Oh, yeah, that episode's great.
If you're a big Futurama head, I always recommend digging up the DVDs and rewatching those with commentary. The commentaries on those DVDs are fucking great, and the one for the Star Trek episode is very good. I believe they explain why it's Welshy and not doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this week, for part 2 of our 100 episode celebration,
Oh, yeah, I guess people are gathering.
People are gathering. They're like, oh, thank goodness. We're not going to fucking burn up right now. So this week...
Yeah. This shows... Oh, go ahead.
We decided that we were... You know what it is, listener, noble listener, because you saw it on the episode description. I'm bad at keeping a secret. But we're going to talk about the pilot episode of Lower Decks. Star Trek: Lower Decks, which is the animated Star Trek show that premiered in August of 2020. So a couple of things about Lower Decks before we get into it. It was like a lockdown show. It was one of the shows that came out during the initial COVID lockdown. It is created by Mike McMahon, who is also the guy who co-created Solar Opposites.
Okay.
And he was an old school Rick and Morty executive producer writer. As you can see from this, having a bit of that it's like a PG-13 Rick and Morty kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of like the style though. Yeah. The art style, their arms,
and
their
I believe,
little hands.
Yeah, their little hands. That's right. I believe that this is animated by Titmouse, which is the same company that does a bunch of other shit. I think so. Yes, okay. and it's because it's either Titmouse or Bento Box, and I think it's Titmouse. Yeah. What production company company does Lower Decks, but I think it's Titmouse. Anyway, and it's a very funny show. I love it. And in this nebulous area between Star Trek the original series and Star Trek the Next Generation, I just wanted to cover something fun about Star Trek. And I think this pairs well with the original series. This is kind of like Next Generation to Star Trek the animated series. Like, it's sort of that era. This takes place like after the events of Next Generation, but before the events of Picard. But yeah, so let's roll here.
So this is before the events of Picard.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Did you watch Picard?
No.
It's good as hell. It's very good. The third season, like there's of the 3 seasons, one of them is not as good as the others, but it's good. And so Lower Decks. This episode of Lower Decks, it opens with a bunch of rad Star Trek shit. Like you see a spaceport, space dock, yes, and then we see the Cerritos, which is the ship. That we're gonna know and love, and we've got a log that's being made by who you would think is like maybe the captain or something, but it's Ensign Boimler, and he's played by Jack Quaid, Nepo baby.
Yeah, we were just discussing
Nepo baby Jack Quaid. Let me pause it for a second because I got opinions about animation.
Yes,
and I get real mad when they have celebrity actors doing roles in animation because there's like voice actors who that's what they do and they're great at it and just hire fucking them. But I don't think he's famous enough, and he's done so much other voice acting that I think he's almost more of a voice actor than he is an in-person actor. Like, he's done more animated projects than he has live action stuff.
And that's the thing too about voice acting. It's very expressive. It's really different. And like literal actors, I mean, they can't hit those, like, I guess, peaks.
Sometimes,
it's just because like
with
they're
varying,
kind of typecast, you know?
Yeah, to varying results. I think that there's some actors
always going to be the scrawny guy that does the funny stuff, but then it's like, I mean, yes, he is that in this show. But
you could make him look however.
Right, exactly.
But he also plays Superman on My Adventures with Superman,
and
which
brings
rips.
A ton of personality to that role too. It makes him seem pretty, like, I guess, human, right?
Yeah, I hope he's not a killer of women or something.
Oh gosh, I mean, fingers crossed.
I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's fine. And he's a frequent guest on Comedy Bang Bang, the podcast that I love and always mention.
But anyways, yes, he is the exception to the rule, I feel. Like, where it's like there's voice actors where it's like, oh, okay, that's just Eddie Murphy. That's just Mike Myers.
A good example.
Like, that's not Shrek.
A good example of celebrity voice actors. You can hear music outside for sure. A good example of celebrity voice actors going awry, I think, is the dub of Princess Mononoke, because it sucks. And they got like real ass actors like Billy Bob Thornton and like fucking a bunch of great actors. Yeah. I didn't like the dub.
I thought it was all right.
I thought it was all right, but I didn't like how I just didn't think
it takes you out of it.
Yeah, because they're reading it like...
Because it's Billy Bob Thornton reading
and because
something.
They have to read it real fast.
Yeah,
you know?
I
just like, I don't... Like, I think of a dub as an accessibility thing, right? And I understand why they had to do it to break into the mainstream with it, you know?
Like,
they wanted to play it in American theaters without subtitles. I fucking get it, right? And it's a great movie.
It is good.
But it's just like... It's like the only time you should watch a dub, I think, is if you have an accessibility reason for doing that. Like you can't hear or something like that, or you're away from the TV or whatever, you know, like it should be like an accessibility thing. Like people shouldn't default to the dub because they don't want to read subtitles. And if we lose a listener over that, god damn it, so be it. But man, I got into it on social media with somebody one time about that. They were like, I watch stuff with the dub and I don't give a shit what people think. And it's like, well, nobody would be critical of you. You don't have to say that. Like, but you are a baby. You watch you watch TV like a baby does. All right. So now Boimler is hiding in a closet like a creep doing this fake captain's log. And then we get the foil, the other main character, Ensign Beckett Mariner, who's voiced by Tawny Newsome. She comes in and tries to embarrass him and take his log, and she's trying to get him out of his little closet, and she's all drunk. So we kind of get... They're laying it on pretty thick. Immediately
established that one's disciplined, the other one doesn't give a fuck.
Less disciplined.
And like she's already hammered on this, blue drink that Boimler talks about is restricted.
Yeah.
And that's also a reference to, what is it, the third movie or the fourth?
It's a reference to a bunch of Romulan ale, but it's Romulan whiskey, ale. She says.
That's right.
And then she's swinging a batleth around, and this ends with her cutting a fucking chunk out of Boimler's leg, and it looks so heinous. Watch this again.
Juicy, the way the
it
flesh
just flops.
Bounces.
This is very good animation.
And
she
then
just
you can see right inside
just
the cut
chop.
too.
Yeah, you can see the sinewy tendons in his bone.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the intro, which is a standard intro.
No, it's probably one of the greatest ones though.
It's so funny because it shows the ship almost exploding and then making it out. It basically shows the
terrible things.
It makes it look and it's got an alien stuck to it at one point.
Yeah.
It makes it look like the Cerritos is kind of the B team of we find out later in the series that they're a California class ship, which is sort of like a community college type.
Yeah.
If the Enterprise is Harvard, the California class is like a fucking a community college. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I went to a community college.
The Borg is so great though. You see at the intro Borg's fighting, and then you just see the Cerritos just do a 180. And
so there's 5 Borg cubes fighting with Romulans or Vulcans or something, like a space battle, and fucking Cerritos pulls up out of warp, sees it, turns around, bugs out, fucks off. I love it.
Yeah.
So I think the intro to this is great. The cold open is awesome. It immediately establishes the dynamic between Boimler and Mariner. It shows that this ain't your granddaddy's Star Trek cartoon show, and the name of the episode is, funny enough, Second Contact.
Right.
And then we see a bunch. There's so many jokes, we're not going to cover them all, but it's fucking great. The next person we meet is Ensign Tendi. She's an Orion. She's got a very cute haircut with her side of her head shaved. Mm-hmm. If it was on a dude, it would be a very fascist haircut, but she makes it work. And there's a guy with a breather in the background. They always try and fucking shoehorn in aliens that we've seen in the past. The alien that we always talk about on Star Trek, the animated series, it's got the arm coming out of his chest. They use that race all the time in this series, which is a great reference to the original. And Boimler is going to show Tendi around, and Tendi is very excited about science, and there's just too many fucking jokes. I thought that it was going to be overkill with all of the references that they squeeze in, but it's just fine. More references, please.
No, I think it's pretty tasteful, too. It's not too much in your face. And I guess in the first one, they kind of lean on it, because the characters are still growing. But
they're establishing the tone.
Yeah, exactly.
Mariner basically, several times, she sums up the entire vibe of the series with a line of dialogue. Right here, she's like, you don't want to hang out with the stuffy captains. They don't know what's going on. We're the real heart of the ship. We're the heart of Starfleet. We're always doing kickflips and stuff.
Now, and then another big thesis too of the whole show is Tendi is looking at the map of the Cerritos with Boimler and Mariner, and they're all like, oh, that's cool, and then we have this, and we have ops and stuff, and Tendy's like, where are we on the ship? And Boimler's like, we're all the way here, and it's the lowest part in the corner of the ship.
It's so fucking crazy. When you think about
it, and it's that's massive. 400 people, 500 people.
I haven't really, and I hadn't really thought about it like that until they show it, right? But outer space is just below their feet.
Yeah.
It's so in Alien Romulus, there's a scene where they're on the bottom deck of the ship, and if they shoot an alien and its acid blood comes out, it's gonna eat through the bottom of the ship and open a hole to outer space. And I thought that was awesome because you never really think about the bottom of a spaceship, really.
Like,
you know,
why would you have people live there though?
Well, that's because it's
maybe like
they're
engine maintenance.
They're in steerage, you know. They're the fucking crew, like in Titanic. They're the Irish crew of the Titanic. Oh, and another joke I have to mention: Boimler is showing her the map, and he's like, "Here's ops, ops, ops. This is ops," and there's just so many opses. I fucking love it.
Yeah, it was really silly.
And now we meet the fourth primary character. Tell me about Ensign Rutherford, Al.
Rutherford. Okay, so he's kind of like Boimler into like the fact that they love their job, but I always thought of him as the Scotty. Like he loves like doing all the engine work and does the engineering and loves like looking outside at the, or no, he likes what is it? Once he told the audience that he likes to go through Jerry tubes and shit.
Jeffrey's tubes.
Jeffrey's tubes.
Jerry tubes. That's the Nazi version.
Jeffrey's tubes. And yeah, just immediately you find out who he is, and like, oh, and you like I like the fact that they bring up the cybernetic enhancement and how he's just like, oh yeah, this is all new.
He is
just kind of getting deal.
He is a new to him. He is a new to him cyborg, and he's basically just got like a one Google glass over one, like built over one of his eyes and a chip in the side of his head. And it becomes a very important story point later in the series that I really like.
Yeah, it does. They do play a lot of jokes off of it too.
And he's got a date, so that's
yeah.
And so what they do well in the pilot is, and Mariner's giving her a tour and acting like she doesn't know anything, but really Mariner is a fantastic crew member. That's what's so funny about this show. It's like usually when there's a workplace comedy, which is essentially what this is, they fucking hate their jobs, right? But this is a workplace comedy about people who absolutely fucking love what they do pretty much the whole time they're doing it.
Yeah, and they just do it in different ways. And it's like there's an episode 2 later that talks about like, you know, discipline or like whether to push a crew too far or whether to like have them relax and stuff. And that's a pretty good episode.
Dude, buffer time. Yeah,
yes.
Buffer time episode.
Oh my gosh. And then they immediately introduce the holodeck too,
which I love. She's like, let's go to the holodeck. And Boyman was like, we don't have time for that. And he's like, she's got time. Shut up. And so they go into the fucking holodeck, and she chooses to pull up a they first go to like beaches and stuff.
Yeah, they go to Hawaii.
A beach in Hawaii, and she's Tendi is fascinated by sand. And then they go to the to Orion, and they're looking around, and then Boimler goes, they go, Boimler, why don't you pull up a holodeck program? And he goes, computer, show us the warp core.
And yeah,
he's such like, a dork.
Oh, this is part of the ship. We can literally go there,
right?
And it's just so bizarre.
It's great because Tendi would actually be into that, and then there's a funny joke about them being in a holodeck with a bunch of naked dudes.
Yeah, it's like they don't. Of course, that would be. It's the first thing everybody's mind goes to with the joke, you know?
Yeah.
And they obviously cover that later. I haven't seen too much of the episodes of the show, but I'm sure they get really deep into. I'm sure there's episodes just about the holodeck.
Yeah. There are holodeck. There's definitely holodeck characters that come to life and fuck with shit.
Oh, yeah.
Which they also do in Futurama in a different episode. But one thing that I forgot to mention, the episode is titled Second Contact.
Yes.
And they explain what Second Contact is. And it's like, you know, Kirk and the gang, they go do First Contact.
Of course.
And then 50 years later or whatever, a California class ship, the Cerritos, goes and does Second Contact. And just to check in on them. And most of the time, the planets have gone back to their shitty ways and are worshiping Landru again. That's a joke they make later. They go back to the planet where everybody's worshiping Landru. And one of them's like, but I like the red time. And so they explain that that's kind of the role of the Cerritos, is they do missions the rest of the fleet doesn't want, and that usually includes things like Second Contact. This becomes another enduring and ongoing theme in the series.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Planet Express, how they just deliver stuff. Like,
right?
It's space, and it's amazing, but they're just doing
their job.
simple stuff.
And they hate their jobs.
Yeah,
so that's like the more classic workplace comedy version of this. And then we see Ransom. He's the second in command.
Oh, yes.
And Ransom is voiced by Jerry O'Connell from Sliders.
Sliders?
The show Sliders. You didn't know Jerry O'Connell was in motherfucking Sliders, dog? Sliders is a show we should do. If we ever do a Patreon, we should do a bonus feed where we watch Sliders. It's about this guy who solves the technology to slide into parallel universes. Everybody talks about the multiverse and parallel universes like it's some new fucking thing. But I'm telling you about a TV show that was out in like 1994 or 95 about a guy who slides from alternate universe to alternate universe, and they go to Nazi universe, and they go to gangster universe, you know?
Right?
and it's just like, that was 30 fucking years ago, and it's every franchise, every property. Family Guy's doing a multiverse thing now. I saw, not that I haven't watched Family Guy in years. I'm pretty cool. And so, yeah, it's pretty crazy that
Jerry O'Connell, though.
Jerry
He's
O'Connell,
Ransom.
Sliders, he's awesome as Ransom. And Dawn Lewis plays Captain Carol Freeman. Pretty cool, Black Lady Captain. And there's lots of like queer cast and crew members and shit. It's a very, I'm sure there's Reddit posts about how terrible this show is because it's woke. Like, definitely they're like, woke finally, this comes from the woke Trek, like Discovery. Another black captain, we already saw that on Discovery. I'm woke, it's woke. And yeah, there's a lot of great voice actors. Phil LaMarr, who's Hermes on Futurama.
Yeah.
Ben Rogers, who is a Comedy Bang Bang guy. Paul Scheer from The League and How Did It Get Made? He plays Andy Billups, the head engineer. Fred Tatasciore plays Lieutenant Shax, who's a Bajoran. If we haven't met, we meet soon. And Ensign Devon Attendee is Noelle Wells. I didn't know anything else that she was in, but I was familiar with everybody else. And Eugene Cordero. Did you watch The Good Place?
I've seen a couple of episodes. I haven't watched it for long.
Eugene Cordero plays a friend of the space case guy from Jacksonville, Florida, Jason. And Eugene Cordero plays a character named Pillboy. And it's very funny, but he's great. Also a big Comedy Bang Bang person. So this has a great voice acting and comedy pedigree. You know, they're really doing everything right in terms of how they put this show together. And now we get to see Rutherford on his date, right?
Yes.
Tell us about this story arc. This is one of the 3 stories going on here.
So with this story arc is, he's just going on a regular date, but comes this crazy like happenstance that happens on the what's it called on the ship, on the Cerritos, and it's because it's referencing back to like an infection that what's his name Ransom gets.
Yeah, Ransom brings a mosquito bite back from the surface.
And this is kind of like a big reference to what I always say is that it's kind of like the hell ship where like, space, just shit in space always goes wrong.
Yeah.
And as soon as the infection like gets worse, I think they turn into like zombies sort of.
Yeah, they all turn into zombies and start trying to kill each other and puking and stuff. All the puking is great.
And the date, you think it'd go terrible, but they fall in love and they get more excited about fighting all these zombies. And a good bit is that like they're just so used to this. They're just used to all this danger and shit and all this crazy shit.
And this sequence is so great. Ransom turns into like a rage zombie from 28 Days Later. Yeah. And he's just spitting black blood into everybody's mouths and shit.
And his eyes are just, there's no pupils.
And they're all turning into zombies. And then Rutherford and his date are like still having their date while
flirting.
All this shit is going on around them.
It's great.
I fucking love it. And in the meantime, Captain Freeman asked Boimler to keep an eye on her on Ensign Mariner for some reason. We don't know why yet, but Ensign. She asked Boimler, keep an eye on that Ensign Mariner.
And they're still doing their second contact on the surface.
Yep, and they're still working on second contact on the surface. Tendy's work. Oh, and then we meet Dr. Ta'ana, who's voiced by Gillian Vigman, And Dr. Ta'ana is a cat lady.
Yes.
She is so fucking great, dude. She's one of the funniest characters in animation.
The one thing they always get right in all the Star Trek shows is the Doctor. You know, you always get excited when the Doctor character comes out.
And they did not fucking disappoint, dude.
Yeah.
She is so good and funny, and she's always like meowing and hissing, and she's cussing. She's like a foul-mouthed veteran surgeon. I fucking love it.
So as soon as Vendi gets in, I guess Tendi. She gets in to check on what is it? I guess what is that called?
She's in sick bay.
Sick bay, thank you.
Yeah, so Tendy's working in sick bay. And then...
yeah, they're trying to get all the zombie shit down and under control.
Yeah, they've got everybody strapped to big tables and
she's
shit.
She's like, where's my mentor? And she goes, this is your mentor.
And the mentor's like spitting
everybody.
Yeah, spitting black
blood.
Disgusting puke.
Puke.
And then we get to Boimler and Mariner. Boimler is mad that Mariner is... So Mariner is doing a little backhanded deal where she is selling... Stuff, right? It looks like she's selling farming supplies to farmers, right?
Yeah.
And Boimler is like, you're breaking all these regulations. And she's like, I know I am. And she said, it's farm equipment. If we didn't do this, it would take them forever to get this shit from the Federation. So I'm literally just trying to help them. And then the farmers bug out. They're like, the deal for the farm equipment's going sour. And they leave, and then their giant fucking spider thing comes out and attacks Boimler and Mariner. They fight. They work to fight this giant spider. They're laughing, and then she basically big times Boimler, saying, you don't understand how to fucking get out of this.
Yeah, it's a literal, book smart, street smart kind of thing going on here. And like, as soon as Boimler wants to contact the Cerritos,
she takes his fucking comm badge.
Just throws it. That's like immediately like... we're fucking done. I would be so mad.
Boimler says, why don't we just stun it? And she goes, what? And spoil the milk? And he goes, they milk it? And she goes, I don't know, probably. Mariner's great. She knows everything, and then she also constantly makes shit up. And they get naked and make dummies out of their clothes to distract the spider. And then they jump on its back. And then the spider, this is very much a Rick and Morty kind of joke.
Yeah.
The spider basically starts teething on Boimler. It just sucks on him.
Yeah, and the farmer was like, "Don't shoot it. You'll
spoil the milk."
And they're like, and Mariner's like, "Oh my God, is he gonna die?" And the farmer's like, "No, she's a herbivore." And he goes, "Oh, okay."
And
so
she's like,
suck on him for a little bit.
Yeah, she's like, "Don't worry about it, Boimler. She's not gonna hurt you. Just think about the warp core or something."
Yeah, think about your happy place. The warp core.
And then we cut to Rutherford and his date walking on the outside of the ship because they had to do a spacewalk to get around all the zombies. They talk about a classical music band called the Monkees.
Yeah.
And we get this rad shot of them like floating over the windows while like Shax is fighting zombies in the background. They get to where they're going. And then this is where things really turn for the date. So they try to open this door. They just try to open a hatch, right? And let's see. It didn't already happen, did it? Okay.
No, yeah, the hatch doesn't let him in.
So basically, Rutherford, they try to go through a hatch after fighting a bunch of zombies, and it doesn't immediately let them in, or it malfunctions in like a very tiny way. Here we go. It malfunctioned. He doesn't get in, and then he opens it, and then they get in, right?
Yes.
And now he's like, here, I want to see what this line is. So they start making out, and then he's immediately distracted because he says these maintenance hatch doors didn't recognize our comm badges.
And he's like, do you know the probability of something like that malfunctioning?
Yep. And now he wants to run diagnostics and work on that. And yeah, so he blows the date by being a nerd.
Yeah. He's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
I fucking love it, dude.
Yeah, it just goes to show, like, he loves, what's it called? He loves,
engineering. He loves the ship. He loves the Cerritos. Yeah. Oh, what a great picture of Boimler being sucked on by a fucking spider crab.
And right after, though, he cuts to Tawny, and she's like holding a heart.
Tendi,
sorry,
yeah. In the sick bay, she's pumping somebody's heart outside his body for him.
Yeah, the doctor is like, here, hold this, keep pushing. And she's like, what? And she's like squeezing this heart, and the patient's like screaming. And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm hurting you, but I'm like keeping you alive.
Right? Oh man,
It's so awkward.
There's a great sequence with Tendi in the future where she's in a holodeck program being tested, and
that's good.
And she's being tested on her ability to treat a Klingon medically, and the Klingon's like, you must give me a noble death, and she like saves his life, and he's like, oh, I was supposed to have a noble death, no, I'm a coward. Very funny. And then Boimler and Mariner are heading back to the camp, and he's like
covered in juice,
and he's pissed, and he's a little baby, and he's like, I have been, by the way, watching what you're doing, and I'm reporting to the captain. And then this is where Mariner explains her whole deal. She's like, look, the reason I do this stuff is because it takes Starfleet a long time to do things, and I like to be immediately proactive and help where I can and use the resources I have.
She's like, I don't care about the glory.
Right?
Like, I just do these things because I want to.
Yeah, and then Boimler's like, I'm still going to report you. And then they beam up to the ship, and Dr. T'Ana analyzes the juice on Boimler.
Yeah, the saliva.
And, you got to get him to sickbay because, as usual, he's got the cure inside him. There's a great scene of Shax carrying Boimler to sickbay, running through all the zombies. And
it's, I don't know, it's very amazing that, like, they tie all these tropes, but it's not, a direct rip. It's just, we understand what these tropes are, and they're just, like, filling in the blanks with, like, their own characters and their own, like, ideas.
And it's funny. It's a legit comedy.
That's what's hard.
It's a real ass animated comedy. So they synthesize a cure. They blast it through the vents. Everybody lives and stops being zombies. And then we see
one of the best parts of the episode.
Yeah, they just totally forget that Boimler helped them. Boimler is traumatized and covered in purple glue, and they're not going to give him any credit for helping.
All the senior officers, the captain's like,
well,
doctor, you're going to have to make another award-winning paper about that cure. And the doctor's like, oh, more paperwork.
And they all laugh.
Yeah, it's like the end of an Enterprise episode.
They all laugh.
Boimler's just like huddled and traumatized. And Mariner's like, you better give him credit. They won't, but it's just awesome that they immediately established like the B team and the fact that there's still levels of the senior officers and the ensigns and stuff. I guess it's like, this is, to me, I feel like this is kind of Deep Space Nine, but a little, I guess the characters are like Deep Space Nine, but I think them going from planet to planet will probably be, I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to say is not more entertaining, but like probably like they do a good job expanding the whole Star Trek universe rather than just them taking care of this person, or I'm helping this person, or now we got to solve this issue.
They're good at picking obscure Star Trek shit to work into their stories.
It's just obscure enough to not like be as in your face. I don't know. It's just,
they do some of that though. There's like the strange energies. Sure. They do it. They reference Gary Mitchell. There's a lot of like very direct references that they go to the place where everybody worships Landru again.
Yeah, that's true.
So now we get to see Boimler and the captain, and this is a fateful moment. We're gonna see, is Boimler going to report that Mariner gave illegal shovels to those farmers, and she says, she's like, you came back covered in purple goo wearing an alien farm frock, and she didn't have anything to do with that. And Boimler says, I don't know, maybe the goo that saved the crew affected my memory.
Yeah, right. And it's just a funny, sci-fi thing to say.
And she's such a grumpy bag about it. Like, she's like, she really wanted to catch Mariner doing something, and then we find out why.
Because Mariner is her daughter.
Yeah, Mariner is the daughter of Captain Freeman, and her dad is an admiral, and they have a little conversation about how Mariner always loves being in the brig. She reflects poorly on me, but nobody knows that Mariner's her daughter, but how she would reflect poorly on her if people knew. Her husband is like, gotta go, Admiral stuff.
Oh man, it's I'm losing ya.
Right?
It's classic.
And then we get a great Tendi. There's a will they won't they with these people through the whole series.
I was gonna
There's
say.
a great episode in season 4 where they go to the Ferengi homeworld and they have to pretend to be a couple to do this Ferengi
That's funny.
thing. But there's a great scene with Rutherford and Tendi where she's like, how did your date go? And he goes, oh, it was fine. Though she said, did the zombie virus ruin your date? And he goes, no, that kind of stuff happens all the time. And Tendi's like, is she as great as everybody says? And he says, yeah, she's great, awesome and highly effective in a shipwide crisis, but I'm not going to see her again. And Tendi goes, why not? And he goes, because she had zero interest in figuring out why a red alert overrode maintenance hatch 70's access protocols. It's like, can you even imagine? And you think Tendi's going to be like, dude, that's fucking crazy. You shouldn't care about that. And Tendi's like, she goes, are you kidding me? That's nuts. Of course you would care about that because she also cares about it.
Yeah, of course. And then they both bond over the science of like that crazy anomaly mathematically.
Yeah, and he goes, "How can you have romance when there's how can you have
diagnostic?
How can you worry about romance when there's a diagnostic you could be running right there? Who has time for romance when there's a level 2 diagnostic just sitting there waiting to be run?"
Yeah. And what is it? I keep saying Tendi. I was about to say Yandi. Tendi.
Well, you're thinking of Tawny Newsome, the lady who plays Mariner.
Thanks. Tendi. She was just like, oh yeah, I mean, you can't, don't, what is it? What is that phrase? Don't tempt me with a good time.
Yeah, don't threaten me with a good time. Yeah.
God, that's just so weird though. I think it's like funny how their dynamic is just immediately established off of their love for science,
Yep.
And I like too, though, how what you were saying, how they were referencing the rage virus just being another day on the ship. That's exactly what I mean. Like we want to see, but we also want to see everything beyond the hell ship. Like you've said, we've seen 70 episodes of Star Trek or so. Yeah. Some of them are all right. Some of them are really, really bad. Some of them are great.
Yes.
But I think it's nice to see a good take finally on Star Trek animated wise, because again they could do so much more with it.
Yep.
But also that you're seeing the day by day and like the nitty gritty of like what all these people go through. Yeah, exactly. Rather than the glitz and glamour of the senior officers and shit, which they play into later. And I've been watching more episodes, and it's getting really good.
Really fucking good show, dude. So then we have a little heartwarming scene with Boimler and Mariner where he's like, even though you're crazy and you have unorthodox methods and you break the rules, I think that Starfleet is better with you in it. And then she goes, you didn't tattle on me. There's some really good animation directing in this scene. Mariner's got a lot of very good faces. And then she says, no, I didn't tattle on you. And she's like, oh, I had you pegged. I thought you were like a boring worker drone. And you are, but inside that drone is an ambitious little weasel. And inside that weasel might be a tiny human being. She's fucking great. Then she says, I'm going to be your mentor. And he's like, you can't decide that. We're the same ranks. She starts chanting Lower Decks. And there you go. They have lots of very funny references about Spock coming back from the dead. Got a freaking Genesis device. Found space whales. She just basically packs as many original series references as she can in that last few seconds of the series. Do you know my man Kirk? Do you know Worf? Gary Mitchell?
Yeah, because I mean, she's just laying down on the Star Trek information.
She said, what about Deanna Troi? Her body be banging in that jumpsuit. Yeah, so watch Lower Decks. Yes. So overall, what did you think of this Lower Decks pilot?
Dude, pilots usually are rough.
They can be,
they're usually rough to sit through. They don't really establish anything really well, and then it's like, oh, give it 2 or 3 episodes. No, this from the get-go, is great. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be pretty mid, but I'd give it, honestly, it was a 5 out of 5. It was really that good.
It's a great series,
and
too.
It's like, you establish the 4 main characters, you give a little previews of the senior officers, of who they are, what they're thinking about. or I mean, not really what they're thinking about, just who
what
they
their
are.
deal is, how they act.
Yeah, and it's like, I think a really good tip too that I've heard from, I don't mean to get all technical, but it's like the Team Fortress 2 creators. They were like, when we made these characters, this cast, a good trick is they can all be silhouetted and you can tell who they are.
So
right?
hold on.
And it's like, I think with their haircut, they all look kind of different, and you know, it's like they all have their own thing. I like the design of this show.
Let me stop
But what
right
were you
there.
gonna say?
That is something that Matt Groening, who created The Simpsons,
really?
has said. And people before him had said it too.
Well, that's
but
what
it's
I'm
just
saying.
funny
It's a
that
good rule.
it's funny that those Team Fortress people have probably heard the same fucking the same Simpsons commentary that I did, and that they got it from the same place. But yeah, you should like he talks about it on the Futurama commentary as well.
A rule though now.
Yeah, it's like you should be able to identify your character in silhouette. That's why Lisa's got the spiky hair, Bart's got the spiky top of his hair. You should be able to tell who they are if they're just a line drawing.
Futurama does that too, right?
Yeah, that's where I first became aware of it, because he was talking about it on the Futurama commentaries.
It's such a cool rule, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
I love it.
It's a good benchmark for design. So.
Exactly, yeah. And then it's like through those designs, you can give people character. Like, what is it? Shax is fucking massive.
Yeah, Shaq. Oh, Shax is the best because he's always talking about like, I didn't have time to do anything on Bajor because I was busy resisting the occupation. He's fucking awesome, dude.
Oh, that's right. He's a Bajoran.
Yeah, he's a Bajoran who fought with Kira Nerys in the occupation. I just watched the Deep Space Nine episode of this. Yeah. And that's the other thing. They do an episode where they go to Deep Space Nine. Woo. They do an episode where they are on Voyager and it's being like turned into a museum.
That's great.
Yeah, but I love it. It's a 5 out of 5 for me too. Yeah. I fucking think it rips. And I love the pedigree of it because I'm aware of and like all the people on it. Mike McMahon is fucking great. So yeah, Lower Decks is awesome. If we ever do a Patreon, I think one of the things that I would do for bonus episodes would be to just do our thing that we normally do, but with Lower Decks. There's like 50 episodes. But yeah, so that's it for this episode. We're going to be back to doing more of Star Trek, the animated series next week. I don't know what episode. It'll be a good surprise. And, we're wrapping up. Al, this is at the part of the episode where we give you a recommendation for something to watch, play, or do. Al, what do you got?
Well, I have another anti-recommendation.
Oh, no. Al's been doing a thing lately where he talks about something you shouldn't watch or listen to.
Well,
Shoot.
No. I mean, you should give it a chance. Gladiator 2. I put it on, and I was like, all right, let's go. It's exciting. And from the very beginning, it's like, oh, okay. They did this little animated thing with like these paintbrushes or whatever. And it's like a recap of Gladiator. But they use like stills from Gladiator. And then it's like AI'd into it. And I was like, I'm sure there's some of that.
Probably didn't actually do AI.
It looked really bad.
You think so? Yeah, I feel like that's something I would have read about.
It was like Ridley Scott, dude. I know
he
that's
wouldn't
what I was
do
thinking
AI,
too.
I don't think.
I don't know. Just watch it. It was just so funky. But anyways, from the get-go, it's like it's all about Gladiator, and then it's like every single step throughout the movie is like, oh, by the way, there was Maximus. Oh, by the way.
Remember Gladiator?
Yeah, exactly. It's
remember that movie that won an Oscar? Do they ever say, remember that Oscar-winning picture, Gladiator?
No, just looking at the score differences, too. Gladiator 2 is like a 6.5 on IMDb, and then the original is like 8 something. And it's like, I think what was just missing with that movie was just its own 2 legs and its story. The effects were dope. Yeah. The action was sick. But it's like, there's no plot. I mean, there is, but it's just like, you're not really that interested. Like, you're more interested in like, oh, that character or that actor looks great, and all those, Roman clothes, that looks cool.
Denzel.
And then it's like, oh, that looks cool. Okay, yeah, that looks cool. And then it's like,
I'm gonna watch it on my buddy's pirate media server because I love Denzel. Like I watched both I watched both the Equalizer movies this last weekend, like on a lark.
Aren't those insane?
He's real good. He's pretty fucking good in them. So do you have like a real recommendation, or are you just gonna say stay away from Gladiator 2?
No, and actually, let me think. I'm sticking with
Okay.
that. Stay away from Gladiator 2.
So
Would not recommend.
I've been recommending a lot of the same stuff because we're watching ongoing series. Like watch Dan to Dan. It fucking rules. Content warning. There's a lot of sex stuff, sexual assault stuff. But just as a content warning, it's a very good show, a very adult show. Now, but I have been playing a game on the Switch. I've been playing Marvel vs. Capcom Arcade Fighting Collection. Yeah. And it fucking rules. It's not exactly what I thought it was. I don't know why. It says Arcade Collection right on it. I don't know why I thought it would be the Dreamcast version or something. Or the PS2 port. So it's basically just all the Marvel / Capcom games, including like Children of the Atom and the old Punisher side-scroller beat 'em up.
That's crazy they made that.
But the big one is it's got Marvel vs. Capcom Arcade on it and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is like one of the best games ever.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like the one player all that much. And the 2-player couch mode is like the person who wins can't change their fighters between matches. Because it's like arcade style, right? So you pick. But online mode, when you play online, it's just like the old school sitting on the couch. You just hit rematch if you want to play again, and then you pick new guys or new fighters. So if you're into the old Capcom fighting games and you've got a Switch, I highly recommend Marvel vs. Capcom, the Arcade Fighting Collection. And they also have a Street Fighter one. And I think there's a Mega Man one as well.
Damn, they're just pumping them out then.
Capcom. It's all Capcom stuff.
It's all Capcom.
But yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is like one of the best side-scrolling or side-view fighting games, 2D fighting games of all time. And it's a very good port of the arcade. So check that out. That's it.
Yes, watch Lower Decks though. Honestly,
it's
I'm
great,
like on
and it's
episode
done.
5.
It's done too.
Yeah,
that's the
true.
sad
That's
part.
the sad
It's
part,
off.
yeah.
It's off the air now. But
did they finish it?
Yeah, it just
Was
finished.
It like, no, but like,
they knew that it was going to be the last season. Yeah,
Cool.
The scuttlebutt is there's going to be a movie on Paramount Plus.
There's not like some cool shot of the ship flying away.
I
like
haven't
like in the original series. That was so ridiculous.
Right? I haven't watched the last episode yet because I'm saving it. It just came out a couple weeks ago, and so I'm rewatching the series, and then when I get to the end, I'll watch it. But yeah, so watch Lower Decks. Thank you for listening to 101 episodes of Trek in the Valley.
Here we are, 101.
We're going to do another month or so of the original series, and then we're going to do the big kickoff of Next Generation. I've got a new soundboard and everything.
All right.
It's going to be fucking great.
Yes, and then I got to read up on my Picard memes.
Right? Yeah,
like,
we'll do a Picard meme corner.
What else is, who's the other guy, his first officer?
Riker. He likes to stand with his leg up on things. All right. So that's it. Thanks for listening. Do all the stuff in the bumper. And if you're in California, my God, stay safe out there or everywhere.
Stay safe.
Peace out. That wasn't loud enough. Trek in the Valley is executive produced by Adam Ordall Quinnell and Al Hirt. Theme song by Al Hirt. Recorded by Adam, mixed and edited by Al. Check the show notes for our socials, and you can email the pod at trekinthevalley, all one word, @gmail.com. Like, subscribe, review, and always explore strange new fucking worlds.